Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mark Anthony, and I'm sitting with Diente Loco, and I'm with L.
What's up?
And we are You Talk It.
We bring it.
Yeah. And just to recap, last week we had our returning guest, our therapist. Her name is Erin, and she's awesome. Erin's awesome, right?
She's magnificent.
And just to introduce who we have here in the building, we have an artist here from the city.
Yes, sir.
His name is Jeff Stately.
Glad to be here.
And just to reiterate about, our recap of last week, Erin was talking about relationships and the way she elaborated and the way she touched on the different aspects of, a relationship. And what other, we hit her with a couple of questions. We asked her, what was one of the questions you asked her?
I know we were talking about how relationships aren't just like, for getting busy and stuff. Like there's different
There's more
kinds
in
of
depth.
relationships.
Yeah.
And it requires work
It requires a lot of
and patience.
a lot of work. So make sure, if you have somebody in your life and you guys are making it work and you guys are fighting it, fighting a good fight, just keep fighting.
A good fight, but not a bad one.
And always be present.
Yeah, be present. Ain't nobody want to be lost.
Right.
In the sauce.
Yeah, exactly. Lost in the sauce.
And for our movie review, we have Diente Loco. He's going to talk about Django.
Speaking of getting lost in the sauce, let's talk about Django Unchained. Right? This movie was part Stranger Comes to Town, part revenge story. One of the things that I liked a lot was they took slavery and added depth to it by having the German, right?
Yeah.
The German, and it was
Shultz.
Yeah, it was talked about all the time that he was the German. So it was like an outside perspective on America, At that time, certain things like slavery was different in America than anywhere else. And the German, Schultz, gave Django the opportunity to be a free man because of he didn't understand slavery, but he has some business to take care of. So he's like, I have to take advantage of this right now, but you help me, I'll help you.
Kind of rub each other's back.
and-
Back scratchers.
It was just crazy from start to finish, and it's one of my top 10 favorite movies. I don't know how you guys feel.
So I'll be honest with you. I only watched the first 30 minutes. Like, that's it. That's all I got. So my man in the blue suit.
Jamie.
Yes.
Django. The D
Yeah.
is silent.
Okay, I keep pronouncing it Django.
Yeah, it's Django.
The J feet.
Yeah.
Cape Radiant ass name.
Give him a whole new name and everything.
Yeah, his name is Django. The D is silent.
I seen him when he whooped 3 people's asses, and that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Like, that was cool. That's all I remember.
You see, he whooped dude with the whip.
Yeah, yo, he fucking like beat him with it. I was like, ooh, yeah, beat that ass.
So just to talk about and just to talk about the movie. The movie was very, very powerful because it gave you so many different ways. Again, just to elaborate what Diente said. Yeah, because they turned him into a quote unquote hero. If you look at it,
Yeah.
they gave you a hero, like a hero story. You see a guy who actually started in the beginning. He was a slave. He was chained. Literally became a free man. Freed his wife. Got revenge. Like
He went back to get the revenge.
Yeah.
Too. He went back. He's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do it.
Do you know if this is like based on a true story? Or?
Nah. This is just
Could you
a
imagine?
movie.
That'd be crazy.
One of the things I really liked is the foreshadowing in this film. Like you're talking about the blue suit, right? By the time that the movie ends, he's in a maroon suit, right?
Yeah, I do remember that.
And that means he's in this world. It's subtleties like that. Like, okay, now I'm in this.
What do you-
Explain.
yeah, I was gonna say, what do you mean?
The
So-
colors.
Like, he wasn't free, right, when he was in the blue suit.
Yep.
And he wasn't really a bounty hunter when he was in the blue suit.
Right.
He was just some guy, in a fucked up situation, trying to not die.
Right.
Trying to live, trying to get back to his honey.
His baby girl.
Kerry Washington, fine as hell. Oh
some
my
good
goodness, she got good teeth,
Got
good
good
lips,
teeth.
good body. Body look like it's made out of milk. She used juice and berries. That's Lord Jesus.
That's his phrase, man.
berries.
Juice
Nah,
and
she
berries.
is beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and she's supremely intelligent, and you know, she's available. You know,
Is she available?
Is she?
I think she's married.
She will get pregnant.
Nah.
Listen, that day. Oh, go ahead.
That
Go
same day, I'll meet you and pregnant you.
for real.
So one of the things that I have problems with Quentin Tarantino is he likes to drop that N left and right in a lot of movies,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah, that was-
like I feel like he's too comfortable with it. But in this movie, it makes sense to a point. But I still feel like he drops that shit. Like
How many N words was it?
I didn't
Probably
count.
They broke a record.
Yeah, probably. I didn't count, but when it
And
becomes
the first beginning scene, that was just it said like 10 times.
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
when it becomes uncomfortable, you know, there's a lot of uncomfortableness in that movie, like
Because that's
they-
the raw and real and the gritty of it, though.
But was it real,
Real
or did it? Because sometimes it took me out of it. I'm like, but it like in Pulp
Like it was
Fiction,
questionable?
too. It's like, yeah, how many times is enough? Like,
Okay.
it's if it's according to the character. You know, I'm in the film business. I make movies, and I still feel like it was a little bit too much. You know, it's different. You know, and how it's said, and when it's said, and who says it. You know, I'm uncomfortable with it even in like hip hop music and stuff when it's overly done.
But 2 years, I believe this movie was set 2 years before the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about that time and you know, where blacks were and
Oh, they were considered property. Yeah.
correct. And that word, I can only imagine how often they used the word back then. So I think he hit the nail on the car. Right. And you know, it still happens to this day. But, you know, it's more so said behind closed doors, or it's said, you know.
It depends on where
Right.
you live. Yeah.
Right. And I think back then, I can only imagine how often that word was just flying around.
I
You
do
know what I mean?
like
So-
how they expose the 3-tier system in America. You know, in the film, and it's subtle, right?
What do you mean?
You see the slaver, you know, the people with all the money,
Yeah.
and then you see the poor whites with their whips and their,
Yeah.
you know, the less educated than Django, and like you see, there's a scene with all of them together, and one guy's in the bathtub, another guy's building like a dollhouse, and they're just playing cards, and they're just being them for that time, and it's like they're just all scrubby and dirty and just living that like whatever
Like a
ratchet,
rundown?
like rundown lifestyle, and it's like, but they're comfortable as long as they feel like they're better than the blacks, you know, and it's like
It's a lot.
But that's white supremacy even to this day.
Yeah, exactly.
White supremacy. These guys don't even finish college. They don't even finish high school.
Yeah.
And just because of the color of their skin,
But-
you know, they feel like they're better than.
I feel
blacks.
like it was exposed
Almost
subliminally.
Right.
Like
right.
like you can see it if you think a little, and it's like the first time somebody that's closed-minded sees something racist and says, "Oh shit, that's a thing."
But what is racism, right? Racism is, I think, it's a condition. You have to treat it like it's like a sickness, like an illness.
Yeah, I mean,
because
essentially.
you're basically, it's almost like a form of what's the words? Help me out real quick.
Control.
Yeah, it's to
and
control
dominance.
a subgroup,
condense.
a group. You know what I mean? So it's like, I wanted to elaborate more. You know, I had a brain fart, so sorry guys. But I'll probably post
Daily.
a comment. Right, I'll probably post a comment on the video. So, but yeah, it's just to control a large group of people, whether it's using genocide, all these things. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, you got to really do your research and really do your homework, because there's a lot of holes out there.
A lot of oppression too comes back to one thing, and it's status quo. It's about
Yeah.
the minority, like the 1% keeping their power. And you know, if I go up and talk to like a crowd of people and talk about the 3-tier system, people are just going to get mad at me because they don't see it day to day. And I've seen it through my life all over the place. You know, I'm a very educated person, so I can talk about it and I can give examples, evidence, and etc. But one thing that like a movie does, or a video, or a song can do, is tell a story.
Yeah.
And if you tell a relatable story, you can expose it without putting that pressure of, I'm telling you what's real, and you need to get woke. You know,
Yeah.
it's not lecturing you; it's showing you. It's giving you heart. It's giving you humanity.
And the medium that they use to like deliver that is like very important.
Mhm.
Like I feel like I'm not too familiar with the 3-tier system, but having a movie of that magnitude be able to show that, and like someone like you who was able to suddenly pick it
acknowledge
up, yeah, it hits home. And I'm pretty sure there's many other people out there that see that.
Yeah.
Right. You know, because, you know, and again, you know, history has a, you know, it repeats itself, right? Isn't that
Yeah,
what they say what history is?
essentially.
Damn,
I mean,
slavery's
it has-
coming back.
Yeah, well,
Just different forms.
hope not.
Yeah.
well, there's,
I know.
well,
Yeah.
systematically, there's still
yeah.
oppression going on.
Yeah.
And, you know, and even in schools, you see, you know, it's projected as,
Follow the money.
yeah, well, follow the
You'll
money.
see-
And then you'll see in school systems that white is superior and, you know, and they're the dominant race. So it's like, that's what you see in grade schools coming up.
Even financial institutions.
Y-
Let's
you-
have you two go and try to
Yeah.
apply for the same loan. Who's going to get it, or who's going to get a better interest rate? You know,
You might
That
have a
plays
better
lot.
credit score.
I might have a better credit score, but, you know,
Yeah,
it's not
but,
even-
but
They
I
wanna
can,
know
I,
you
I can
anyways.
talk and hustle though too.
Yeah,
Um,
Deante's hip. He's
yeah.
been around the block. You know what I mean?
Another
Been around the block.
another thing too
Deante's
is
on the block.
Yeah.
you know, Mr. Candy, right, from Candyland.
Shout out to Leonardo DiCaprio. He played an excellent role.
Yeah,
Was that his
it's
name,
Mr.
Mr. Candy?
Yeah,
Yeah, Mr.
Candy.
Candy.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was an incredible bad guy, and they made him charming. You know, and you want to like him, but then you hate him at the same time. And you know, he's a suave Southern gentleman. You know, and it's like one minute you like him, another minute you hate him.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's almost like John Cena in wrestling.
yeah.
I like
He
that.
comes out, you hear his music. His music is dope, and then you see him. It's like, he sucks.
Yeah, let's
You know
go
what I mean?
Cena. Cena sucks.
Yeah.
Let's go Cena sucks.
Right.
Yeah, it's always coming back to wrestling, right?
Yeah, it's always that.
So you know, the other thing is too is I'm going to take it back to the German, right? And he was having flashbacks of the dogs, and he in like the end game, right? So the dogs tearing that black dude apart who didn't want to fight anymore. You know, he was exhausted. He was like, I can't do it. You know, he gave up.
Yeah.
He was willing to die to not fight. You know, they show a fight before where another black dude has to bash another black dude in the head with a hammer to kill him. And so
That's intense.
you see,
They show it too, like a graphic.
yeah, this movie's crazy.
It's very gory.
But you need to watch it, you know?
Finish it.
It's very
I
gory.
might have to hold my dogs while I watch it if that's the case.
That's okay. Just don't have a hammer in your hand. You know? Bad puppy. Right?
No.
That's messed up.
I pulled
Can't believe
that.
you said that, Mark.
Come on,
But
Deante.
you know, there was this scene, right? That you know, the stranger who came to town had a moral dilemma, right? Schultz. Everything was free and clear. They had to give $12,000 for Hildy, and they had to get the hell out of town, right? They got caught up with that plan, and they was caught, and you know they were trying to get out. They were paying that money, you know. So,
Delicious.
you know, they were trying to buy a fighter, and they were gonna, you know, come back after they took the girl and pay the guy for the fighter, but they weren't gonna pay the guy for the fighter. And like the bounty hunter, Shultz was into plans, and then he had a system, and Django was in it with him, and they hustled and they killed all kinds of dudes, and it was like,
They were quick too, quick with their hands.
yeah, and it showed that they were in their business, you know, and their plan was exposed actually by the black guy, Steven, the house guy, you know, and he brought it up to Mr. Candy, and Mr. Candy kind of he went off the chain with some things.
Are you talking about Samuel L. Jack?
Yeah,
He played.
I was trying to figure out if that was really him or not.
yeah,
He played an excellent role too.
He was-
man.
He kind of reminded me of Uncle
Funny.
Ruckus from
Yeah.
Boondocks. In that,
if
in that
you don't
part.
hate Sam Jackson in this movie, you're
70 years old.
Yeah,
70 years old, and
not during Django.
no,
He-
but he's 70 now.
He's
Yeah.
70 now.
Yes, and he's still making movies. I mean, he came in.
He's
he
a
broke
great-
into Hollywood late. I want to say it was after
Yeah,
50.
he was like 50. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I did
broke
not know
in.
that.
And he's been in so many films since.
He
I think
takes
he's-
paychecks, man. He takes paychecks.
I think he's
stays current.
I think he's the top actor that's had the most movies. They said, right? That
I
was like
think
4
so.
or
I
5
heard
years
that
ago. So imagine now, after all the Marvel movies he's been in.
Facts.
He's been in so many Marvel movies just in the last 10 years.
I let us get off topic though.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's me.
It's nerds.
The whole thing about Schultz, Django was in that world. Sam Jackson's character was in that world. Steven was in that world. Candy was in that world. And
I'm really mad his name's Candy.
Schultz, right, had Schultz had this moment of truth. And he was about to walk out with the deal, give him the 12 grand, and Candy just had to be that motherfucker. And he was like, a deal's not a deal till you shake my hand.
Yeah.
Say it again. Say it again.
A
Do the
deal's,
voice
not
again.
a deal's not a deal till you shake my hand.
You see, Deontay's been working on his voices. You know what I'm saying?
At home practicing on the mirror.
I got a little south in me. I was born in Virginia.
He said, I got to get this right. I'm going to be on the podcast.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, I'm gonna get all the honeys after this one.
Yeah.
Not with that speech.
Maybe not with that speech.
Yeah, and slavery's kind of a bad thing.
Yeah, this is very
Like, hey, honey, what you doing later? I got,
Hey, honey, what you doing?
I got a game we can play.
Yeah, it's called Slap the Black.
Yo,
I didn't say that.
yo.
I said it. It's all right.
yeah.
It's all right.
So, he's caught with a dilemma, and there's a scene between Django and Schultz, and he's like, you're going too far with this. And then Schultz exposes his cards early in it because he tries to buy the guy that's going to get eaten by the dogs. And Django's like, nah, let him be, man. He ain't worth it. He ain't worth our money. And, he's playing that role of a slave or hardcore. And he sees who Candy is. And Schultz thinks, like, nobody's this bad. And then when he has that moment of truth with the handshake, and he just looks at Django and he's like, I'm sorry. And he just busts a cap into DiCaprio's ass.
Yeah, and he just falls back.
And he knew what he was doing, but it was principle. And the gun show afterwards was dope as shit. Kneecapping Steven. Right? That was
I
dope.
remember that.
Yeah. So that's it for the movie review. I think that was a pretty dope movie review.
Watch
I'm gonna watch it
Django,
again
man.
tonight.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to
Watch it.
rerun that shit.
Now, is it on Netflix right now?
no,
It is on Amazon because I bought it.
Amazon.
You gotta
You know
buy
there's
it.
mad fake movies.
Nah, come on now.
It's on Vimeo for free right
Man, y'all
now.
know I got a Fire
Yeah.
Stick. I ain't playing out.
Yeah.
I
make
got Amazon. Yeah,
I make movies
Yeah,
for
I'm
a
not
living,
buying
man.
it. I told Dwayne I was like, if it's not free, I'm not watching.
Yeah, it's on
I'm
it's
gonna
on
be cheap. I'll be
Vimeo.
real.
I saw it in the group text.
It's on Vimeo. It's free. It's the Quentin Tarantino cut, so it's 2 hours and 18 minutes instead of 2 hours and 45. I didn't see that version.
What?
Yeah, man, it's a quick watch though. It feels
Quick watch.
It feels quick.
If I'm, here's my theory, a little sidetrack. If a movie is under an hour and 40 minutes, I think it sucks.
Nah, that's an action movie. That's an action movie.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I normally don't base
I don't know,
movies
'cause
off the time.
I look at it, I'm like you can tell a horror movie's gonna suck if it's under like.
I'm sorry, my
Oh, a horror movie. Yeah,
Like-
this isn't a
But,
horror movie.
So-
even so, like certain other movies too, I'm like, oh, this sucks.
I think the runtime for the movie Avengers that's coming out is 3 hours.
I'll take longer.
3
That's
hours?
different. It's
Longer.
a 20-year story, a 10-year story, 12-year
I'll
story.
take longer.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That series.
I don't
So
know.
speaking of our guest, man, he's dropping some gems right now. What he likes and what he doesn't like. So let's talk about you a little bit, bro. Like
Okay.
where you come from and what made you want to be an artist and
What got you really started?
yeah.
So I guess the origin story. All right, we're gonna do a little play on the superhero, but
Yeah, get it.
it's crazy because I remember like distinct moments. So I'd say it had to start with my love for hip hop, where my cousins we used to play Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and Lupe Fiasco's Hip Hop Saved My Life would be like
Oh
the
my
soundtrack
gosh.
to us playing.
Yeah.
And so I remember like, yo, this is dope. Who's this? Blah blah blah. Cousin put me on. From there, it spiraled into me like learning about all of Lupe's music, falling in love with him, being super influenced by him, going back to Biggie. Then once I got to Eminem's like one of my top 5 favorite rappers of all time. I was sold.
No, when you said Biggie,
Biggie,
that's
Nas,
my guy.
Biggie, Nas, Pac, freaking, what is it? Far Side. Like, he just keeps going, dude. And then I had a best friend growing up, Denzel. Shout out to him. He don't make music no more, but he kind of helped me get started. He used to make beats. And so 8th grade going into 9th grade, you know, I hit my like transition, grew taller, started growing my hair, and
He realized he was light skinned with long hair.
yo, it's crazy. It's crazy because from 8th grade I was fat, chunky, short haired, and then I hit like 6 feet. 9th grade, people
Out
like,
of
who's
nowhere,
this?
out the
Hey, he was
blue,
there.
bro.
And he was like, I'm back, ladies. I'm back better than ever.
He's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
He said, you know, my hair
And
is
I'm
curly
happy.
and I'm tall.
Yeah.
And I'm tall.
So that summer we just kept playing around. He had like a little headset mic, and we just would rap and stuff. And then I remember my first rhyme too. I'm actually like I lost my first couple of rhyme books through the process of moving, which sucks. I'm really trying to find it.
Yeah.
But it was like, I be shining, I be lying, forever grinding while you. It was something like that. Like, it's very simple.
Yeah.
But you know, I just fell in love with it. Like, it was day in and day out. Just want to record, figure things out, and I would write all the time. And I would say like my style of writing was like very poetic, and then I was a lover at that time. You know what I'm saying? And so like I would write poems for like certain girls.
He was a heartbreaker.
Yeah, and I would just like, and tying into Eminem, like when I came across Eminem, I learned cadences, I learned like multi-syllable rhymes, and I started like putting things together. I used to like go on Rhyme Zone or Rhyme Dictionary or something online, and I used to literally look up everything, like all the shuns, like the production, seduction, all that. I could rhyme for days.
Yep.
So
Wow.
yeah, we
I didn't
just.
even know that was out there. I didn't know that.
I still
That's
do
crazy.
it.
Yeah.
I still do it myself.
I used to do it all the time, but yo, I need a word to rhyme with this. Boom, boom, boom. Find this,
I
and
just go on Google.
I'll just I mean, but it was a site. It'll give you.
Yeah.
It'll give you the
called Rhyme
antonyms
Zone,
and the
yeah.
synonyms. Yeah, I used to
I
like
have to
do
write
that.
it down.
Yeah, and in high school, like that, I love that era of like 10th grade. Like there would be rap battles. I did a couple battles and stuff.
Brockton High.
We would do songs back and forth, like
Yeah.
dissing people, and you know, I would just rap on anything. And then I very much like that period of time from like 2008 to 2012, because all the big artists today drop like iconic mixtapes, like
That time.
like Big Sean. Like, I mean, he's on the clock right now, but
He started. You know what? His last album really grabbed my attention.
it wasn't bad. I decided it was really good.
I think was it 2016 he dropped.
Yeah.
He had banger after banger after banger. I was like, oh.
Are you
wow.
talking about the one before that, Dark Skies Paradise?
That might be
That's
the one.
He had I don't fuck with you. Yeah, that one
He
you talking about.
had bangers all over it, and I was like, yo, I'm
Yeah.
a big Sean fan right
Yeah,
now.
but like
a beast.
I
him,
never really got too much into his music like
He's
that.
a
he was
beast.
dope.
He's
I
nice.
mean, Cedric loves that dude, but I
Does
don't
he,
really
yeah?
care for it. But yeah, like Drake dropped, J. Cole, Lil Wayne. You know, him in the mixtape runs. Like I missed that era, but you know, I was just like beyond it, and I would play songs. And the type of person I was at that time with music is, if I like one song, I'm gonna have to get the whole mixtape.
Yeah.
And so like I would do that, and you know, I'm just from Brockton, so like everything I made just was reflection of my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I know everybody has their.
That's the best way to support an artist is buy their music. So when you
It's
or
authentic.
listen to his SoundCloud,
Yeah.
you know, support local artists like Mark and Jeff over here,
Yeah.
and that's really important. I can tell you this: like, I didn't respect hip hop as a thing because I wasn't involved in music. Like, I always looked at music as something to get me by and put me in those moments and
Yep.
stuff. But it wasn't until I learned about poetry and styles and the actual amount of work. And, you know, I always say, if you want to be the best hip hop artist in the world, get a dictionary. And, you know,
Yeah.
the biggest dictionary you can get. But that brings us to, you know, you said Call of Duty, right?
Yeah.
Got you into hip hop, which is crazy.
Ironically,
One
yeah.
form of art got you into another, and you found a passion for it, right?
Yeah.
So, who inspired you as a hip hop artist?
I can get so Lil Wayne, Lupe Fiasco, Eminem, and Kendrick Lamar. It really inspired me. Like I would consider this my debut project, Dover Street, but it was heavily influenced and modeled after Good Kid, Mad City. So I would always say that's my version of Good Kid, Mad City for Brockton.
Okay.
And it's a very intricate story. There's a lot of deep things that still people haven't figured out. I'm willing to speak on it if they ever ask me. But yeah, like Like I when I came across Kendrick, that's when it lit a fire on me. Like I wrote some things I never knew I could write. And the way my process was crazy. I would be able to like specify a story. Like I made one song named RPJL, and I'll finally say this, but it's RP John Lima. I don't know if some people know John Lima passed away.
Yeah, R.I.P. to John.
I didn't personally know him. My older brother did, but I knew when he died that year, that summer in 2000. He died on my birthday in 2007. So when he passed away, I remember that started Brockton's like violent history.
Yeah.
I say that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I saw it. And I made that song, and I said like I ended the first and second verse with May 21st, 1994 till forever, and then the second one May 21st, 2007 till forever, and it just talks about me seeing. It's named that, but it talks about me seeing a murder at 6 years old in front of my house.
That's
wow.
crazy.
Yeah, and it became a regressed memory until my cousin brought it. He's like, yo, you don't remember somebody got clapped in front of our crib? And I was like, what? And then he like, I remember.
On the west side?
Yeah.
I was living on Anna's Ave.
When you see
anus is crazy, man.
when you see a dead body, like a fresh dead body, it does something.
That's
to
crazy.
Yeah, I just remember my aunt. We all on the porch, and my aunt was like, yo, bring Jeff inside.
Yeah.
And we went inside, and I just seen them put like the black thing on the sheet over him and stuff.
Yeah,
But
that's wild.
yeah, it was like
Yeah, Brockton was crazy back in the 90s, like 90s and early 2000s.
yeah.
It still has its moments.
Yeah, like right now is
No, I
it's
think
crazy
I think right now it's just crazy, but there's no, like I have an older brother. He's like 34. I'm turning 34, and he's an alcoholic and everything. Like, but this dude, like, he's a very respectful person. Like, he believes on it. He's like, don't tell a major lie. He's like, respect your elders, and he's like, don't worry about money.
Yeah.
And like he was like, bro, like he teaches me game. Like, mind you, like this, he'll be drunk and stuff, but he'll sit me down and he'll be like, yo, you gotta do it like this. And I remember growing up and watching him, and like he used to ride around with my cousin. He passed away, unfortunately, through gun violence. But I remember he used to say like, yo, like nobody's gonna, if someone disrespects you, you handle it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he taught me like about fighting. Like everybody's shooting today, but like I remember he told me, he's like, yo, when you're in a fight with someone, look at it like they're trying to kill you.
You have to.
He was like, so if you need to grab something to like hit him in the head or something, like, I mean, obviously like fight with your fist, but like if dude's like really beating your ass or something, like do what you can to like come
fight.
out of that situation.
Right.
And as a fighter, and I'm telling you
Yeah.
right now, because I box, like that's the mentality you gotta have, whether you're in the streets or in the ring. Like I grew up street fighting. Like my earlobe is still ripped. My tooth was chipped. Like my knuckles are scarred for life. And it's not like
Same.
you know what I'm saying? It's not like you want to be in those elements. It's not like you out there looking
But
for
you gotta
that.
do what you
but
gotta
gotta
do.
do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like depending on, it doesn't matter where you're at. It's about, when you're 10 toes down, you're staying down, you hold your ground.
Yeah.
So I definitely respect anybody who, stands their ground. And if you can't talk it out and you can't walk it out, then you got to talk it out with your fist. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just what it is. It's being a man. So
Now, I here's where I get upset with hip hop, because I feel like it was influenced to be that way, and it was like,
Oh, definitely.
like I feel like the Biggie Tupac thing, and like anything else, was manufactured by
Exactly.
the higher ups, and to
I
sell
agree.
their records and to get all the money.
Yeah.
And it's like even Suge Knight wasn't the guy getting all the money. He got a lot of the money, but he wasn't getting all the
Yeah.
money. So it's like a whole system, and that guy's a joke right now. Everyone's afraid of him back in the day.
Karma works in ways and wonders.
And it works.
The best way to stop violence, I think, is the pregame, like your uncle talking to you,
Yeah.
and still he was saying defend yourself because you have to out here sometimes. But the whole mentorship and
And there's not a lot of that today, which is like that's actually our generation's fault.
Yeah.
Because we
That's the best.
we bridge the gap between like the previous generation and this new generation. We've seen the creation of technology and where it's taken us, and how like it plays out today.
Yeah.
And so we're like, the way my brother sat me down and he told me certain things, like you got to do this and that. We're kind of not taking a hold, and I think it's because the way society puts a lot of pressure on us, and we're not ready to stand up and be those parents or those certain figures. Not everybody, obviously, but
Right.
you see what's going on today, where there's like, come on, kids are eating Tide Pods, like in
It's
all
just-
these games.
they're
and stuff.
shooting. They're trying to like. They don't care who's at the house. They're gonna shoot. If it hits your grandmother, we don't care. Like, stop. Like,
That's
like
you know what I'm saying?
when I was living in Florida, bro, I moved down there. I was 14. I was living with my dad, and I'll tell you right now, I went to high school. I was in junior high out there, and I haven't met anybody who didn't have a joint. We was 14, 15, and these dudes had joints like straight like that. Like if you didn't have one, you better get one.
Yeah.
And
You better know somebody who got one. You feel me?
The thing is like with that is like these cultures coming down on teenagers and kids. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off like that.
It's all good.
I had like 8 to 10-year-old kids offer me drugs when I was getting off a bus stop. I said to them, "Get away from me! I'll slap you like your father should have." And I kicked them all out from around me. They got on their bikes and stuff, and they're running around. Now, a lot of it's my generation and the generation before mine, who we were latchkey kids. My generation.
Yeah.
What's latchkey mean?
It means your parents were always working, and you had a key, and you watched yourself and didn't tell
Yeah, you
anybody
took
you
care
had
of
no
yourself.
babysitter.
Okay.
So we did our thing, but no, it's okay. Now it's like when it comes to parenting and culture, it's like the environment we're surrounded in controls a lot of who we are.
Yeah.
And I like this come up of hip hop with like artists like Kendrick Lamar and stuff, and even in the film game, Black Panther and
Was wicked good.
and having Creed come out and like the soundtracks with like Wu-Tang Clan and stuff, and
It's dope.
and that's cool, and you can have a black role model that's not a slave or whatever, and
The narrative's being changed slowly but surely.
yeah, and the
In
whole
due time.
Black Panther being a king
With black directors though.
and what's his name there from Creed? The guy he played Eric.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
He played Eric something, and he his role in Black Panther spoke volumes to the lifestyle that like a poor black kid lives.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and hip hop has many sides, and that's what I'll talk about with you, Mark. What do you guys talk about in your tracks?
In your
Like is it
music?
hit 'em up? Is it
Like,
Yeah.
is it life stories? Like Slick Rick always told stories.
So, with me, I'll go first, and then I'll let our guests talk. But like with me, my upbringing wasn't an ordinary upbringing. I don't even know what ordinary is, honestly, because like we
Everyone
all
has
come
a
from
different- Yeah.
we all come from different backgrounds, right? Nobody's life is perfect.
Absolutely
But
not.
like being homeless, living in shelters, moving around from state to state, city to city, living with your aunt, living with your father, who you barely even really knew like that, living with your brother, living with your sister, and they're like 18, 19, barely adults, barely old enough to take care of you. Like, I had so much to talk about. I was surrounded by so much. I seen so much. Like, I lived so fast, and like life was already hitting me.
Yeah.
When my older brother and my older sister and my younger sister had kids, I had a kid. I took on a father role. You know what I'm saying? So like, it smacked me in the face at literally 2021. Like, when my niece was like, she said to me, I was trying to correct her about something, and she was like, "Well, Uncle, you do that."
Yeah.
So like,
They be watching.
and I was like, "Damn, she's watching me." So it just made me just want to be a better man. So like, I incorporate all the elements, like me going to college, fucking up. Excuse my language. Me going to college and messing up, and having the opportunity to do that when nobody said I would even make it to college.
Yeah.
They said women would be my downfall. I've been.
Damn.
Yeah, there's a lot. So like, I had friends turn, I had family turn. I rode for people who wouldn't ride for me. There were situations where you had to survive, and it was a survival of the fittest. So like, I ain't gonna say everything, but it's like I talk about all that in my music. So if you hear just even my song "All I Know," if you go on my song, you listen to my song "All I Know," I wrote that song in 2014. Now, am I the same person I was in 2014? No. So when 50 Cent's making songs, and he's making songs right now, is he still selling drugs? No.
Yeah.
Is Jay-Z still selling drugs? No. Everyone evolves, everyone grows. So it's like, me at 29, I'm not the same person at 19.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
so much
I'm going
growth.
to talk about my story. I'm going to talk about everything still, because I want the audience to know.
Yeah.
Like, this was what I was doing. This is who I was. This is what I had to overcome. And this is where I am now. I ain't finished college. Honestly, I don't even feel like I want to even go back to college.
Oh, I'm gonna give you a lecture on that off here.
Listen,
Well,
nah, but seriously, and it's like I put all this in my music, man, and it's like that's how I feel, and that's how I went through. That's what I went through because people I loved, look up to, who I felt like would never ever like turn their back.
Yeah.
They let you down.
I feel like
I put all that in music.
I feel like 28 is that age where shit gets flipped upside down like that.
Nah, 25, 26, because when you start learning identity for yourself and you start wanting to better your life, it's so easy to see through the walls of BS of everybody else.
Yeah.
Because once you're so honest with yourself and you can look in the mirror and you're like, yeah, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, and you actually do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see other people and you're like,
Yeah.
and you know who you don't want to be around.
Like 25,
You already
26,
know.
that process starts. Because it's
Yeah.
like you look at people who are your role models and then I fucked up.
But look, 25, 26, people are doing that at 25, 26. I'm doing this at 17, 18.
Yeah, yeah.
DNT. So I'm already co-parenting and mentoring kids at 18, 19.
So that probably saved your life then.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I say this in my music, and I tell my nieces and nephews, like, yo, y'all saved my life. I held them all one day, and I cried because I was like, y'all saved me. Because it was either try to fit in and try to do stuff that was already being done in the family and keep that momentum going, or change. I had to change. I had to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
I had
So
to
it's
be
a
the
choice.
product of choice and change because I wanted to show my nephews that there is good men out there. My nieces that there is good men out there. Be a good person. Be a good man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to Mark's nieces.
My nieces and
Facts.
nephews.
So now you're Cape Verdean, right? So we are talking about that off air earlier. Now, have you ever got flack for not, living this life or whatever? I know there's a transition between, like history in your community where it's kind of like there's an older generation of Cape Verdeans and a younger generation of Cape Verdeans, and it's like night and day.
Yeah.
And also it's like have you been embraced by the hip hop community, or have you felt like that you're not been told that like you're not this enough to be in this community, or has hip hop embraced you?
I'd say they embrace me. Let me not even say hip hop. I say Brockton.
Yeah, definitely.
I've done a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I've, been in the forefront of things, and like the way the musical landscape is right now. Shout out to Bandits, the label, for
Get the flyers.
knocking the doors down. And I'm just learning a lot by being around them because my boy Crew, he was a producer for them. So I'm there. Like the other day, we was on stage with Lil Durk at the concert.
Cool.
And so it's like,
That is dope.
they're a little bit younger, but they're the ones who are like moving and making it real. So it's like a trickle effect. And then, I've been here. I've been 10 years deep making music, and my time will come whenever. But I feel like the city like rallies behind you. Right when you're like about to quit, like someone will be like, "Yo, Jeff, I was playing your song the other day, and like, I just want to tell you like I mess with your music, like when you got stuff coming out." And like it's like little things like that drive us. So
Those messages matter, man.
they do, and I've been getting them a lot lately, especially now. Like I got the traction going, like the snowball, like it's starting to pick up with this next project.
like
and
that.
so,
Snowball.
going back to the question about the things I talk about in my music, it's very what I feel at that moment. But like the last project I did was about the violence around me. So I look at it like Dover Street I'm a Gemini, so I look at it two sides, right? So you have those who are a part of this side who gangbang and trapping, and no offense and no back talk to what they do, because I understand some people got to do what they got to do. Then you have me who like I've seen all that stuff, but I went to college, graduated, did what I got to do, and I've I'm not saying I lived the perfect life, but I see that. So me having people shoot up my crib, my brother younger than me involved in violence, getting shot at, almost dying, and all that shit, like alcoholic, seeing all that, like I put that in there. And so like I have one song, and I'll end on this, where I talk about this party I went to and how somebody almost shot me, like held a gun to my face. And I talk about how my relationship with my father wasn't that good, and what if I never came back from that party. And so at the end you hear gunshots go off. So I created this like different reality
Like
where
an
this could have
illusion.
happened,
Yeah,
And
like
so
what?
I always wanted that song to be like, say if I did die, like that'll be the thing. Like my father will understand, like I really did love him. Like I know like we don't really speak like that, but like that's just how I felt. And so I'd say like I take everything. Like I'll see certain things, like shout out to iPhones and voice memos. I'll be in the store and I'm like, okay, I got an idea, blah blah blah. Let me do this. And then as of today, like my style and sound has changed a lot. Doing part to females, you know.
Ladies, change the world every day.
So this next project, WTWB, I'm not gonna give the full name. That's the acronym, but you know, it's influenced by my relationships with women. One girl in particular that kind of broke my heart, and I think it's the best thing that ever happened to me because I've been making the best music ever.
I'll say heartbreaks always make the best.
And just to chime in, and I don't mean to cut you off, I actually heard some of his music prior to us, going on the air, and I didn't. Yeah, it's dope. He got a great sound.
Thank you.
Like, don't ever stop. Like, I've worked with Bad Boy. I've worked with different A&Rs and different labels. I've worked with different artists. I've opened up for major artists. I tell you right now, bro, you got a sound that's dope. Like, don't stop. And if you're going bigger on bigger platforms, and you're doing that, holla at me. Because we can we can connect, and I'll hit up L.
Word, I appreciate that, man.
Cool. Yeah. Because there's things that we could talk about as far as pushing the music. Because
that's what I was telling her earlier too.
Yeah, we'll talk. Because you got a dope sound. You need to get heard.
Thank you.
For real.
So we know I'm not big on giving shouts out unless it's sponsorship dollars.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm always about that. But this is gonna be that rare moment where I tell you guys about. Like something I think we should do right now. People who make your beats, right? For you and you, like, who do you want to shout out right now to say you should spend money with and buy their beats?
So I'll go on a tangent with him, but his name's Crew from the North. Super talented producer and like artist. Like, you know how people say, oh, I produce, make beats. No, he like will sit there and like he'll charge you studio time, and you know how that's some people's hustles, but he'll sit there and he'll be like, no, I think you should do it like this. You know what, like, how about we sit on this song for now, come back, I don't want to charge you, and like we'll do this. Or he'll make beats. Like, he's done a lot of stuff for free, and it's never about the money to him. We've had this conversation, but he's someone that would like see your song and your vision, and he'll do what he can to his ability to get it there, to make it better. And shout out Crew, like, appreciate him because we've been doing this for a while, and like he's seen the vision in me since 2012, and he stuck me through. And this whole project I recorded at his studio for free, and like I appreciate things like that. And you don't meet a lot of people in this industry like that or in this game, but he's someone that I generally really think he deserves an opportunity, and any opportunity he can get to get out there.
Free isn't for everybody though.
Facts.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, the producer I've been working with the most, and I have a whole catalog of his beats. Still with some I haven't even touched yet. Yo, this man is a beast. He's living in Arkansas right now. I think he's living in Arkansas right now. His name is Let That Boy Cook. And
I like that name.
Yeah, Let That Boy Cook. His I ain't gonna say it. Well, government name Nicholas Harris, but if you look up if you look up Let That Boy Cook, he's a humble dude.
How do we find him?
Everywhere. As soon as you hit Google, you type in Let That Boy Cook, his website pops up, all his stuff pops up. Yeah. So like he's a beast, and I send him because I record at home, but I used to mix and master my product, and then I just go and just perform it. Yeah. But you realize when you're listening to it, it doesn't sound all that clear. I was like, I'm a good engineer, but I ain't the best. So,
let's be honest.
School could help out with that.
You know what? He learned how to engineer, and when he learned how to engineer, his engineering skills. When I tell you everything, I send him stuff, he sends it back. I'm like, I'm like, I got some bangers. Look, summertime's gonna look good right now because I just came back. I'm off my hiatus. I'm out of retirement. The beard's making me look a little older. I'm gonna have to cut all this joint. Just go back to the fresh face.
So you can have like that Chris Brown young face.
Nah, bro. Okay. I don't want a young face. I just want the fresh face. Because I'm coming back fresh. That's all, metaphorically speaking. But it's like But him as a producer, he's a beast, man. He's a humble guy. He'll work with you. If you have a beat that you like and you hear it,
he can recreate it.
He can recreate
it. I need some shit like that.
So I'll link you with him.
Word.
He is a beast, and I tell you, his products and his catalog, his beats. So like, sometimes he has deals where if you buy one or two, you get a third free. and it'll be exclusives. So like
Oh.
his
Yeah,
exclusives,
that's dope.
he'll have like 2 for $100 or 2 for $150, and the product and the beat. Like I'll play something for you.
Yeah,
after
yeah,
this,
definitely. I definitely want
And
to hear some.
you'll hear his beats, and you're just like, oh my god, like dude's nice.
Now, before we're about to roll out, you had a question?
I do. I was
Okay,
like,
no, I'll wait.
I was like, I'm itching. I'm a
I'll wait.
I know.
I'll wait.
My
Your time
question
to
is
shine.
for Jeff.
Okay.
I want you to tell us your most iconic moment, because obviously you've been doing this for 10
Yeah.
years. So there must be, one moment where you performed, or just anything in general that really like stuck to you, like
Yeah.
that you really hold dear.
I have 2 moments. The first one, I would say, shout out to Brock the Mag and my boy Fab. He had me out on his show, and it's like his first show he did. And I had a song called Pizza. It's literally about pizza. I used to
Really?
love,
Half the
yeah,
pizza,
yeah.
That-
And
that's
so I
that's
used to,
our diet.
I used to perform, and whenever I perform, like I want people to remember me, so I buy pizza and give it out for free. But I was performing the pizza song, and like I have a video I'll show you guys after. Like it was just so electric, so crazy. Everyone just like it was just
Wilding out.
wild, dude. But it was like the best moment in terms of
dope.
performing.
That's dope.
And then
That's where I met you at Dover Street.
Yeah, I know you look
yeah,
familiar.
yeah. Small world.
And then the second one was actually 2 weeks ago for Crew's birthday. My record played in the club. It was
Which
like
club?
I peeped that on Snap. I peeped that on Snap.
Studio Lounge in Providence.
Okay.
It was like nobody knew the song or that, but it was
They
like,
was jamming to
yeah, and it was just the fact that like
That's dope.
I never expected that. You know what I'm saying? Like
So like,
That
bro,
makes me happy.
as an artist, because this is what we do, and hearing that, and it's like when people are sending you Snapchats of your music playing in
Yeah.
the clubs, like when I had my song "Watch 'Em Do Me," they were at Morbeza, they were down in Boston, and they were snapping me, and they were like showing me like that's a dope feeling. So like that's huge. That's
shout out
major.
to DJ Biggs for setting that up. I appreciate
That's
him.
major, bro.
That's hard.
That's major. Keep grinding for
I
real.
know.
Don't stop.
Yeah, social media is huge. Like
is.
I see stuff with Jadiva, and she has people singing her songs on Snapchat and post it all the time. And you know,
Who's
I'm saying
Jadiva?
you guys do
she's
that
a
too.
she's a Cape Verdean artist, a hip hop artist, but she's on the grind 24/7.
Yeah.
She's always working, always making music videos, and I think it's really cool that this young CV community is embracing each other and sharing each other's music and
It is.
and,
It's
and
so
living that life.
It's so different too because you have like Cape Verdean artists who are global, like
Yeah.
Nelson Freitas signed to Sony,
Mhm.
and like then you have like us over here who are Cape Verdean in the hip hop community because there's a difference between what I rap and what I sound like, and then what a Cape Verdean rapper sounds like.
Yeah.
And so like
True.
like I really credit Dalen D the Flyers for like bridging that gap. You know what I'm saying? Because his record's going off in Cape Verde like everywhere, and it's like you never expect.
That's hot.
You
That
expect
is
that,
crazy.
yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. I really appreciate the community, and it's like I see things that like this net
Yeah.
of support from the younger generation. I know the older generation doesn't always see eye
They don't
to eye.
understand the music, but you know that Cape Verdeans are very
Supportive.
supportive.
Yeah.
But when
I've
when you
noticed
go
that.
from Warner to hip hop, it's like a
Yeah,
different world.
completely
You know?
different.
Cape-
I love
So,
Warner.
so I get it.
The Cape Verdean community is very, very supportive of each other, and that needs to be talked about because there's misconceptions with that too. You know, with the violence and stuff. But like, we need to talk about that. Even with the just to go off topic with the Jassy situation that happened a couple of
Yeah.
weeks ago,
Yeah.
the whole Cape
We all-
That
Verdean
hurt.
community.
That
We
hurt.
felt that. We felt
Right.
that like it was our own sister or mother. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Because my cousins, I have cousins with the last name Korea because I have Cape Verdean in my family. So
Yeah, I made a lot of phone calls to make sure some of my people are all right. you
Same.
know?
yeah,
Same.
man, I was raised around women. So like, I'm already like a natural born protector.
Yeah.
Like, I got to make sure my my sisters are straight,
Same.
my mother's straight, and my nieces and my nephews and all that stuff. So it's like when you see something like that and it's right in your backyard,
It's tragic.
It's crazy.
That's
Yeah,
scary.
It's
That's
crazy. It
scary.
is. I checked on all my female friends. Like ever since that, like I've been
Yeah.
kicking on my female friends, just making sure they're straight. They always call
I was
me
gonna
and check
say,
in with them.
Whenever I'm in a club, like I always like I'll be a fake boyfriend. Like I got you. I don't care. Like I don't
Fake
care how
boyfriend.
big this person is.
It's crazy you
I'm
said
that
that.
guy
'Cause I
too.
went to the club that I wouldn't say that week, but the following week, and there was something that happened, and I had to make sure this one girl was okay because her girl had gotten into a fight and they couldn't find her. So the other girls came out, and then it was just a whole thing. But I was just waiting for them to make sure they were straight for like 30 minutes, and it's just a crazy
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, and I think too is, and I hate sounding like this, But this whole culture of getting shit-faced and messed up, it leads to the devil. You know what I mean? I hate to say it like that, but we got to start taking care of ourselves, you know? I know I had this bad phase of my life where I was drinking, and like that's when the worst of me came out. I would tell myself not to get into a fight, have like 10 Jack and Cokes and 3 or 4 beers, and then punch somebody or whatever, or be ridiculous out of control. But I mean, there's no reason to get to that level where you got to act like a serial killer and do some crazy shit.
Ain't no acting. That motherfucker was a serial killer. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. And then we'll see with the evidence and all that stuff as far as a serial killer goes.
I know for my girls, like I always tell them, let me know when they get home and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like I don't play that shit.
All my
Check
friends
in.
do that.
Always check in.
Yeah.
Always check in.
Have a system.
I don't play that.
I share my location.
Have a
my
system to
people.
protect yourselves and each other, you know?
Yeah.
Have to.
Because there's people out there, I'm grown.
Yeah.
Stop that. Cut that out. If you got somebody who's, making sure you're straight and your
Genuinely
well-being
cares about you
straight,
and stuff.
Yeah.
check in. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when we're messed up, we make errors in judgment. We're not.
We're not perfect.
You know that drunk mind, sober thoughts is not a thing. Because
cut that out.
Yeah.
Just cut it out.
Now I'm gonna take it back to the hip hop real quick. One piece of valuable advice like I can give is like have an EPK,
Yep.
like
Electronic press kit.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was just gonna ask what that was.
I already have one.
Yeah.
Now,
I have one since 2011.
you guys can elaborate on it more, so me and Lindsay can have more information as far as like hip hop goes and the EPKs and whatever. Can you guys give us some pro advice, from being in the game?
I would say get like a hard drive, a solid state or something, and just keep everything on there. You know what I'm saying? Because like backups or whatever. Because when you lose music or you're on the go, like always have it with you. It should be like your Bible to you in this game.
Yeah.
So your own individual hard drive.
Yeah.
Hard drive, flash drive, whatever you need.
It just makes it easier because like I've been in situations where it's like, we can't find the record, like what's going on, and like if when I do everything, like it's organized and I have it there, just so like you never know. Like say if I'm walking, like I was in LA and there's a bunch of celebrities there, and like I was like, is it cool if I play you something? Like boom, I have my thing here, plug it in, play it out.
Yeah, you're ready.
You gotta have
Stay
it
ready.
because. Yeah, stay ready. Always stay ready, because so you ain't got to get ready, right?
That's right.
And having an EPK, you want to make sure that you have everything. Soon as you have a show booked and you're there and you're going, throw it on there. As soon as you have any,
I need to go and touch mine up because it's like 2013. I made one on Artist E-card.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you stay keep it up, stay relevant with the EPK and just make sure that. You if you have a cameo in any video, put that on there too.
Okay.
Put everything. Put everything. So like if you have an interview or if you have a small segment or even if you have anything you're doing movie wise or if even it's a small clip, put everything on your EPK because that shows balance. Not balance, but you're a well-rounded individual. So if you have new music coming out or if you have anything, so like it makes it easier too. So like say a magazine hits you up and you're like they ask you questions and you're like, oh, what year did I do that? You go back to EPK, you be like, oh, that was that year, and then you go there, you see your links and you see all your info. It's dope, man. Just make sure you keep up with it. That's all.
A quick question, like even if it's like a cable cable access station,
yeah,
should they put it up?
Put up everything because
I used to work for BCA TV.
BCA. So like if you do anything that, first of all, you as the artist, your name is your brand. So whatever you touch, that's you. That's you.
So show that you're working.
Show that you're working. Show that you're out here and you're getting it done. You're being proactive,
right.
And you're staying relevant and you're staying consistent. So just always update it. Always make sure it's on point. So that way, when you do take these trips, you're on vacation. You never know who you're gonna bump into, and you have it. You have it right there. You got your laptop. Boom, pow, bang, biggity bing. It's right there. You know what I'm saying?
We're in an action movie for 2 seconds.
Boom, pow, ping, ping. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure you always keep it up to date. Make sure you got your hottest record first because you always want to wow. You don't ever want to just
Yeah.
lead up to nothing. No, play your hardest record first. Your hardest record. And it should be an original beat, original content. And if you have a solo hot record, that's even better because they want to hear you. They want to hear you. They don't want to hear features. They
Word,
want to hear
that
you
checks
first.
out for me.
Yeah, yeah. And if go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just gonna ask Ella if she has any questions because I've been running the table.
No, I really like I
Observing?
personally don't. Yes, I'm always observing, but like personally for myself, like music, I'm not too savvy on it. Feel me? My brother does music, like he made his own beats and stuff like that. Crew definitely helped him out a few times, giving him like records and just like parts and pieces and stuff. And then obviously when I used to date him, like I used to hear the music and be in the studio too. But yeah, I like seeing things from like start to beginning.
Yeah. So
Like I feel like the evolution of how you go about it and all that stuff is really dope.
Yeah.
you said you use music to paint though. Like you use music to chill and stuff.
Oh yeah,
So-
you know, I personally love me some beats and stuff like that to listen to.
Lo-fi
just-
hip hop beats.
Yes, but I'm always on Pandora as well. Crew put me onto J Dilla, and that's who I really jam out to a lot.
Yeah.
That's my go-to when I listen to music, and that's my way of.
Yeah, I think
Creating.
music affects everybody in different kinds of ways. Like you can tie music to a moment in life.
Oh,
Maybe we can go around the
It's
table.
great.
with
It's
that.
funny you bring that up. That like I have distinct songs for certain moments in certain years. So I remember telling my friend like I want to go back and make a playlist of all these songs. Like I know the first one's gonna be Drake, Dreams Money Can Buy,
Oh,
and then like there's just so much on there and like the feel. So like there was like a point where I transitioned from my laptop to the iPhone. Like, well, I would always have music on my laptop playing it in college, and then now what we got make playlists on the phone and stuff. It kind of nice me searching for music and finding it kind of died out, and my organization like fell off with that. But I remember like going back to the laptop and looking at it. I'm like, yo, I used to bump this.
What about you, Mike?
I can just say this.
yo,
I was living in New York, right?
It's a girl, isn't it?
Nah.
It's
I
always
was,
a girl with you.
I was living in New York.
I was out at night.
And if you guys remember, I said I always had to move around.
Yeah.
Always had to move around. And 50 cents, I got places to go. I got people to see. The penitentiary ain't the place for me. You know what I'm saying? So like, and Eminem just recently said, because they asked him, what was 50 Cent's hardest verse? And he spit his last verse. Picture, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know the whole verse, I don't remember, but that song, because Places to Go, I never had stable living.
Yeah.
So like, I just moved to New York. And I was like, oh, wow, that song really kind of hit home. Places to go, I got people to see. The penitentiary, I ain't trying to go to jail. I was transitioning, trying to get out of trouble. So, you know what I'm saying? Just a year before I moved to New York, I was handcuffed at 10. So, like, and it's crazy because I have a 10-year-old nephew, and that's why I talk to him so much now. Because he looks just like me. It's scary. Like, he has my face.
Twins.
Yeah, you seen the
Twins,
video?
bro.
So there's a video on my Facebook. If you guys have me on Facebook, go peep the video. But there's a video where he says, he's like, you a hater because I got your face. Oh, and stuff like that. And it's hilarious. And he really does look like me. That's my little guy,
You
man.
get
Shout out
a
to Sajay.
Little
I love
John
you, son.
Cena going on. With that?
Yeah, that's my little guy, man. I love that little boy, man. But yeah, places to go, and then 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying. I felt like 50 Cent is somebody who I can relate to a little bit because I had to live with, family members.
Yeah.
And I had to live in certain situations, and I moved around, and I had to do things. I didn't get shot 9 times. You know what I'm saying?
Thank God.
I didn't get shot
Right.
9 times, but you've been in situations like
medical bills.
like
Right.
what he said earlier.
cost
You know,
mad monies.
I've been in a situation like that. You know what I'm saying? So I know how it feels. You know what I mean? It's like, are you gonna even make it home? Like I had a little sister, shout out to Cece, who I had to get home to.
Yeah.
So it's like that was in Florida, and it was a crazy night, man. And you just never know. And the only thing I got from that is my earlobe, his rib,
Yeah.
and you just never know. So 50 Cent really, that his story inspired me.
Yeah. So music's connecting us to everything.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
So Lindsay, I heard wants to take us out of this world to some
Dun, dun,
You know,
dun, dun.
I wish I could quote the Star Trek thing. You know,
Oh yeah.
another world. Like I'm doing the movie guy voice.
So what you got for us, Al?
Lindsay, what is the question of the day?
I was gonna say
L.
the question of thank you. The question of the day today. We not gonna be on Earth. If you were an alien, what planet would you be from?
Let's start with the guess.
Yes.
So-
Also, if you were an alien, what color would you be?
I can see like a red,
Okay.
like a reddish hue, but it definitely wouldn't be in this galaxy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So it could be make believe. So like
some make believe. It'll be like on some like Xenon planet, like just light years away, like crazy light
would it be
years
like
away.
a water place? Would it be like
Um,
hot? What would it be like? What would it look like? Describe it to us. Paint us a nice little picture, Jeff. Come on.
She's going to use this for a painting later.
I think it would be like
not bad,
very.
okay.
It'll be very dark and rocky,
Mm-hmm.
and like I'll be naked. You know what I'm saying? Like, or that's just
Yeah.
be a naked alien. It's like dark, rocky, almost like Mars, like dusty. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Wait a
I
minute.
just picture that. I'm not saying it's paradise.
Hold on. He said he's not saying he's dusty. The planet's dusty.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not like a best planet. You know what I'm saying? But, I just picture like I'll be there. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and just an alien and out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Alien it out.
Yeah.
You a fool. You said I'm gonna be walking around naked.
What's an alien party like? That's what I want to know.
Go ahead, do you? Your turn.
Yeah, what is an alien party like? That's what I want to know. Right? I was thinking that Planet 9, they said it's 10 times the size of Earth. I'm like, look at all those resources we could not waste and like kind of live almost happy, But then I was like, he said, you added the color game. And I was like, Planet Hulk. I want to be Hulk on Planet Hulk.
Oh, that's
He's the king with the girl before it blew up.
okay.
This comic book nerd swag right there.
Yeah, the spaceship blew up.
Yeah,
It wasn't the planet. It killed his wife, and then that's when he came back to Earth to get revenge on the Avengers. Sorry, comic book nerds.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, no.
He was like, "I'm gonna
Bring it
get you,
back.
Reed Richards."
Yeah. So
He went in.
I guess it's my turn now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, you kind of stole my idea. But all right, let's. All right, so I just want a planet called the land of fine ASS women, and they, a little bit of DR, a little bit of, PR, a little bit of Columbia, and he said he's walking around naked. I'm walking around naked too.
So this is the island
bunch of-
planet, right? The island planet.
it's just
and
gonna be me.
island girls
Just
and-
surrounded by a whole bunch of beautiful women
Oh, man.
and all the necessary resources I need to survive. Yeah, because man, what?
You'll get it, used up.
I'm gonna be used up. I'm gonna be,
you gotta.
why is Elle making the beady eyes at me? Like
You
I was
gotta-
like,
you gotta-
used up. Used up to me sounds like
Yeah.
you gotta be like,
yeah.
like
By then,
putty, like
nah. By then, I'll probably create something that I'll have infinite energy because I'm gonna need it.
Some Tony
Yo.
Stark type.
There's gonna be a whole bunch of babies being made.
Yeah.
All right, Elle, your turn.
He's
All
gonna
right.
populate the planet.
They're gonna call me Captain
So-
Planet. That's for damn sure. You know what I'm saying?
I have the power.
No. Oh. Okay, so I've been sitting here trying to remember this,
Yeah.
but it slipped my mind because I have the worst memory. So y'all remember Mac Miller's song and the Divine Feminine? I think Divine Feminine. There's a part in the last where they talk about planet Earth, like planet Earth and planet. I think is it Perfect? Oh, planet some shit. But anyways, whatever the fuck Mac Miller said at the end of it, that planet, I want to be there.
Okay.
Why?
All right.
It just sounds like
Planet Perfect.
I don't think it was perfect. It was started with a P, but I can't think of it. You said the
Okay.
word a second ago, and I was like, that was it. And then it was like,
All right.
but it would be blue because my favorite color is blue. It would be whimsical and very airy, and there'd be a lot of water. Huh?
So you got blue everything right now.
It's
Blue
my favorite
drink,
color.
blue jean jacket.
It's my blue is my favorite color.
She said it'd be
if
a
I
lot
could
of
rename my
water.
name, it would be blue.
That's dope.
She said it has to have a
And
lot
I'll
of
have blue
water.
hair.
Your blood's blue before it hits
Yeah.
all
See,
your
said-
shit.
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what was that thing that we do?
We bring
You
it.
talk it.
Oh, we bring it.
Right? So
Come on, you can't catch us off
For
guard.
real,
like
you do
that,
it
D.
every single time you do it.
Come
I
on,
always
D.
say something
He
else.
cut the acceptance speech short.
Wait.
Yeah.
That's like cutting a fart and not telling
Wait,
anybody and just
hey,
walking away.
I'm gonna
Well, he
rewind.
did that early on the elevator.
Yeah, he did.
I did not.
Yes, you did. It was so you.
Yes.
It smelled like a dirty diaper.
We're gonna need to edit right here.
Nah, there's no
Keep
edit.
it straight
Nah,
raw.
keep it, because we need to let y'all know how dirty DNT be behind the scenes.
That's how he get down. He's not just dirty.
Wow,
He
wow.
dirty.
You know, I would own it if I did it. I'm just saying.
You're turning a little pink. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm upset, man.
Oh,
This is-
damn.
All right. So that's it, right?
That's
We
it.
ended the
That's
show?
wraps it up. What?
Before,
Oh, wait.
before I say goodbye.
But wait.
What do we gotta tell people? We gotta tell people to
Wait.
respond.
That as well, but where can we find you if we're looking for your music or anything like that before we cut to that?
Most of my socials are just Jeff Stately, Stately. If you want my Snapchat, it's Mike Hawkhard.
Oh, what?
It's Mike Hawkhard on Snapchat.
We ain't gonna ask why. You gotta snap them and find out.
He said, ladies,
It's the joke, you know,
subscribe
Mike, Hawk,
and enjoy.
and hard. So when you say it fast, it sounds like Mike Hawk's hard, but it's Mike Hawk hard.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
About-
Yeah, ladies, snap him. Snap him.
I'm gonna add his
His
Instagram.
cock is hard.
Word.
He said his cock is hard. I'm saying, ladies.
Yeah, I'm gonna
snap.
subscribe to
Shout out to the
Instagram.
women.
Shout out to the ladies. Go ahead.
So yeah, what was that thing we do? You talk it?
We bring it.
Yeah. Now follow us on IG, Facebook,
YouTube, SoundCloud, Twitter.
SoundCloud.
You
Twitter.
talk it.
Twitter.
Twitter.
Yeah.
The whole
You
nine
talk
yards.
it.
And one more
Yeah, gotta
thing.
ring to it, right?
Yeah, you
Leave a
talk it, we bring it.
comment. Leave comments. Ask questions.
Yo, if I have any fans, go run up the comments. There's like 3 people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and hit the bell for notifications so you can
Facts.
get us all.
Also,
day.
stay tuned for everything that's gonna be dropping that Jeff's gonna be doing because
Facts.
great things
Video.
are coming. Yep.
Song next month, release party. Just
You gonna have a whole bunch of them things in there?
facts, bro. Yo, yo, add my snap. Yo, go on my IG story, bro. See who I was with last night, bro. It's-
Oh, what?
Yo, I live a nice life. You know what I'm saying?
I think.
Listen,
I think
bro,
I'm
if
about
you
to-
got some of them things in there, I'm pulling
Yo,
up.
we was in LA in a strip club. You know what I'm saying? Still got some.
Still got some
strip
left
clubs.
over.
Listen, I'm pulling up in the foreign, scoring her.
That's it. I quit
You know what
everybody.
I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to get into that hip hop life. You know.
Oh, we
I can
converted
spin a
them.
record.
Listen,
I'm
bro. If you stay around them things, you know what I'm saying?
I got you, dude. I got you, dude. I'll put you on. Man. I got some yappers. I got all flavors, bro.
That's my
All
guy right here.
flavors.
Oh yeah,
I love women. I respect them too.
yeah. We respect you.
Yes. We love you.
Just
We
so
respect
y'all know.
Yeah.
But before we get off, just so y'all know.
Yo,
Yeah, we
a woman with a career and a brain, that is sexy as hell.
Facts.
Indeed.
Yo, there's this one girl I know. Yo, she has a home. She's like 21, 22.
Oh damn.
That's sexy.
Yes, it is.
I don't care if she ugly, but that's sexy. Nah, she's pretty. She pretty. She pretty.
Okay. Oh.
Yo,
Yo.
that's crazy, dude. I'll slide in that. I'll slide in them DMs. I'll marry her. Dude.
Oh, okay. Because you had to elaborate. Because when you said slide in the beginning.
Oh yeah. Both way, bro. You know
All
what I'm
right,
saying?
you
I'll
know
slide
what? We
in.
gotta go. We gotta get up out of here because we're about to have a whole nother conversation.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you right now, we can go in deep. You know,
Hey, what's
No
that
pun
thing we
intended?
do?
yeah, deep waters.
Mark. What's
sorry.
that thing we do?
All right, you
right.
talk it. Oh, I thought we were saying you talking. We bring
Peace.
it.
We said it like 10 times.
Okay, all right, peace.
Peace, guys.
Bye.